So this happened about 4 months ago, maybe more, but I really don't know for sure. Anyways, I was 19 years old and was going home from university after classes. I usually keep my keys with me, but around that time, I had lost them, and my mom was yet to take me to get a new copy. I remember I kept insisting, but she would not listen, so what I did was knock on the door to get my younger brother's attention so he'd come and let me in, but my mom also took his keys and just left him there, locked up as well. I asked my brother to pass me my charger from my room, and I called one of my aunts to see if I could go hang out at her workplace in the meantime. She said yes, and then told me to call an Uber and that she'd be paying for as soon as I got there. So that's what I did. Now, the Uber didn't pick me up exactly at home. It was in the house across the street instead. No special reason. It just did. The moment I saw the guy, he gave me kind of a weird vibe, but I also tend to be very paranoid every time I so much as hop on a taxi. So I just go in, roll down the window, and kept a grip on both my phones. It all seemed relatively normal, until we got to the area where my aunt's workplace was. He just completely drove past it, and claimed he was just following the GPS when I asked him about it. But he wouldn't let me see this GPS. He seemed to know exactly where he was going. Now, I was kinda doomed from the beginning because I don't know directions, and I can only rely on drivers being a decent person and recognizing the area, which I did. But wherever he was taking me, I had no idea. I remember seeing this fountain that I could recognize from when my mom drove to my uncle's place, but that was like way farther away from where my aunt's place was. By now, I was kind of thinking of what to do because this guy drove past so many empty houses, and a couple of them even seemed to be still under construction. Then he stopped near a place that looked like the end of civilization. We were on a hill, and then he turned off the car. I got lucky in so many ways looking back on it. My phone had no credit. As soon as I thought of that, my aunt called me and asked, "Where are you?" And I literally felt my heart drop because I had no idea, and this dude was just staring at me. I said I didn't know and asked him, "Hey, where did you take me?" And he replied with, "I wouldn't know what to tell you, kid." That was enough for me. I grabbed my backpack and opened the door real quick with a loud, "That's fine, I'll see myself out," and got the heck out of there. I remember even being afraid of carrying my backpack on the back because in case he'd chase me and pull on it, so I was holding it on my hand and with my hoodie wrapped around my waist as I thought of where to hide. I thought of knocking on someone's door, but for some reason that did not seem safe to me at the moment. I remember telling my aunt not to hang up because he was still following me on his car. Then I saw an empty barren surrounded by concrete walls and a strong bar gate, except there was enough space underneath the gate to crawl in, so I literally threw the backpack and then crawled under. There was a huge electric control box that I opened up to crouch and hid. My aunt was still on the phone. She, my other aunt, and my uncle were all on a call with each other, putting credit on my phone, and asking for my live location through WhatsApp because I had no idea where I was, literally in the middle of nowhere. I waited there for like 2 hours, and this guy would not leave. I even had to go pee outside the box and immediately ran back inside. There were even tiny spiders and old honeycombs, so I was also fighting both my arachnophobia and tryphobia. At some point, I was guessing the guy left, and my uncle got there in his truck. He did not know where I was, so he kept honking and telling me to tell him when I could hear it closer, and then I finally did, and got out. For a while I thought maybe this had been a misunderstanding and I just jumped out of a guy's car like a maniac without even paying him. But I did end up staying at my aunt's pharmacy for a while until my mom, who still did not know about it, picked me up, and I checked my Uber app, and not only did it say that I had already paid, but it also said I had made it to my destination, so I ruled that out. I had told my aunt not to tell mom about it because she goes insane at minor inconveniences, so telling her would only freak her out and she wouldn't be any of help. I only let her know when I called her to come get me, and on our way to get a copy of that key because of course something bad had to happen until she actually listened to me, and nowadays she always puts credit on my phone. Anyways, so that's what went down. I had to Indiana Jones out of that stuff twice. and my family brags about it because of how I was able to keep myself perfectly composed and react quickly, which I'm still shocked about. I remember seeing broken glass and metal bars laying around and telling my aunt, if I'm going down, I'm taking him with me, in a joking manner because her blood sugar levels were all over. On our way home, my mom did tell me I was not in hysterics because I was in shock and that it hit me the next day. It didn't. I kept going around as normal, but last week she brought it up again and asked if I didn't think I was gonna die. I said of course, but that I also knew freaking out would only either make me an easier target or just not help at all anyways. When I remember it, more than scared, I felt angry. I could have been one of the many girls who just disappear and are later found dead on a random hill or ditch. And I can't say I suffer survivor's guilt because, in all honesty, I really don't, but I can't help but think that could have been me, wherever another kid or teenager is on the news as missing or found dead. It really could have gone terribly wrong. My parents believe this guy was a rookie who maybe felt sorry for me and let me go because if he had wanted to, he could have hurt me with some sort of weapon or just try to kill me right then and there. I don't even know anymore. I sent his profile to all the girls I know so that if they ever happen to get him as their Uber driver, they can cancel. Since then, I don't take Ubers anymore. Me and my family like to go on road trips a lot, and when we do, I usually take my dog. She's a little chihuahua and needs to pee often, so when the rest of my family goes into the gas station or truck stop, I go to the nearest grassy spot and let my dog walk around to do her business. One time, we were in New Mexico at a truck stop later at night, and there's a couple cars so it wasn't dead empty, which is nice. My family went into the building to go to the bathroom or whatever, and I was outside, alone, walking over to the grass with my dog, when a man was pulling up in an RV. He saw me get out of the car and my family leaving into the building. He knew I was alone out there, and as I was crossing the parking lot to the grass, I had to pass his RV, which was between my car and the grass. It was also blocking any view my parents had of me from inside. He yelled, "Hey, come here," to me from inside, with his head peeking out of the driver's side window, and my stupid self went over to him. He asked me to see how far his gas tank was from the pump, and as I was helping, he tried asking me where I was heading and my age. It was creepy questions that I thought were innocent coming from an older man. Then he asked me if I wanted to come inside the RV to get some cold water for helping him. I politely said no, and tried to go over to the grass because my girl still didn't get to go yet. I really gave the guy no option and just walked away to the grass. My family was still inside when he finished. Then he pulled over to the grass, where I was, and tried to talk to me more, and was asking me weird questions. I was very spooked because he was blocking my way to the car with his RV. I just told him, "Have a good day," and walked away when I saw that my family came outside. I kinda jogged or sprinted away with my dog in my arms when I saw my family. I told them what happened as we all got in the car, but he was already long gone by the time I could explain myself. I got yelled at for being too nice to a stranger, and now not allowed to go let the dog go to the grass alone. Good thing nothing happened to me, but I'm still spooked from the experience. If I was alone, that man could have easily snatched me because I'm freaking light and could have been thrown over a man's shoulder easily. Gotta be careful out there. I went grocery shopping with my half-sister today. Everything was normal until midway into shopping. I was in the end of a juice aisle when my half-sister said she needed to use the restroom. I looked up at her as she ran off to the bathroom, and as I watched her go, I noticed this older man, not old but probably in his late 30s, in line waiting to pay. He was looking directly at me. I did not think anything of it, and that he was just looking around because he was in a long line. I looked down into my cart and back up again, and he was still looking at me. I didn't think much of it still. I started pushing my cart to go get one more thing while my sister was in the bathroom. I left the aisle, took a left turn, and passed him directly. We locked eyes and I just gave a half-second smile. Before I turned to another aisle, I turned around to see if he was still looking, and to my surprise, he was walking towards me and still staring at me. I was confused because he was just in line to pay, so I turned into the aisle, becoming more hyper-aware and a bit suspicious. I'm in the new aisle, and I walk through, and I still turn around one more time, and there he is. He's now in the same aisle, walking my way, still staring at me. He's far from me, but something's wrong. I literally said, "I think I have a stalker." I kept going. At this point, I was in a bit of a fight or flight trying to lose him. I take a left and keep walking. I turn around, and he's now out of the aisle and coming towards me again. I take another turn into the frozen ice cream aisle, and as I walk through it, I turn around, and lo and behold, he's right there, turning into the aisle following me. I stopped and stared at him like, what the heck? My heart started to pound, and I honestly felt so helpless and scared even though there was people everywhere. I started walking really fast into another aisle, and I found a spot to hide. I stood in front of water bottles for a few seconds, and ran to the produce department where I could find a worker in case I saw him again. Called my sister, and thank goodness she found me and she's safe too.